making a strong application and the essays?
So, unpopular opinion, but unlike what most people want you to believe, that score is the only deciding factor for your application to be successful, I think whole profile is extremely important. It's not just the score. I myself think that despite being from a overrepresented demographic, I could have done worse. But with the results that I've received at the end of the day, I think the overall profile which I had, the kind of strengths I had, the way I was able to reflect those strengths in my stories, I think that played a very pivotal role in allowing me to get selected in the school I wanted to. So that is what you need to do. You need to understand that where your strengths lie. It requires a lot of introspection, as I've said again and again. You need to think back. You need to understand at which point of your career you were able to create that impact, or where you were there for your teammates to make that impact. And impact is what that matters. It's all about the leadership impact, or co-working impact, or inclusivity, diversity impact. Whatever you do, it's all about what the end result was, and if you were able to be the change maker that world wants. So I think that is where things matter the most. So yeah, to sum it up, I think you need to have that holistic profile rather than just the score.
Yeah. And you've interviewed with almost all the schools that you applied to. So, what was the interview experience like? India versus the schools abroad, or maybe individual schools. What stood out in the preparation?
So I think each interview was slightly different from others. Indian business school interviews were a little bit different from the international business school interviews, from the fact that the way we Indians think, it's entirely different from the way the international schools think, or the way they interact with the applicants. So just to give you an example, I was interviewing at IIM Ahmedabad, and they had like a rigorous interview. Like they pick out any random thing out of your profile, and they try to understand why you did that, what you did in that, and they will pull out anything. For example, I was interviewing with them, and they they picked out a very random question for me, like what is the difference between analysis and analytics. I mean, we use these words on a very daily basis, but when it comes to mnemonics, or to understand the basic definition of these terms, it puts you in it puts you on a very tight spot to come up with the exact definition. So I think such questions are what you can always expect unexpected out of IIM Ahmedabad interviews. For international business schools, it's more in term of sometimes you may have a blind interview where the interviewer may not have your entire profile, or may not have gone through your essays, but in other cases they might have gone through it, and you just need to guide them, understand their questions. So at the end of the day, in international school interviews, you can be 50% prepared with your stories, with your essays, whatever you have shared as a part of your application, and rest of the 50% is thinking on the spot, thinking on your feet, and always being ready and optimistic about what you're trying to share. And couple of pointers which we collaborated on the mock interviews as well. So some of the points which I picked up throughout our conversations was always format your answers in a star format. So all those things always come in handy. So yeah, I mean, that is where the different experience difference lies, and that is how you can actually make your interview experience worthwhile as well.